We want to tell you about this criminal probe around the Biden family because Republican Senator Chuck Grassley sent a letter to the FBI detailing more than 40 confidential sources that have provided what he calls criminal information on the Biden family dating back to when the president was the vice president. He says that the FBI has improperly shut down all of these referrals by calling them disinformation. He says he details this, and we're going to take a look. Here is Chuck Grassley. He's been barking up this tree for a long time. And now this letter comes with all manner of demands, plus all manner of detailing of these investigations and where they went. So what he's saying is that the government received many credible tips and then just told themselves, oh, that's Russian information, disinformation, and then moved it aside. It's like they got all these tips and they had two piles, and it was like an investigate pile and a misinformation pile. And they just said, oh, we don't want this. And they put it all over into the misinformation pile. The letter is addressed to Merrick Garland and the Attorney General and Christopher Wray, Director of the FBI. Here is the letter dated the 24th of October. He is saying that the Justice Department and the FBI had knowledge of at least, no, actually, this is not, he doesn't say this in this letter. In June, he told us this. So again, months have gone by and he hasn't had satisfactory answers, because back in June, he said the FBI had knowledge of at least 17 audio recordings with the president and his son Hunter discussing bribes with foreign nationals to the Ukrainian head of oil company Burisma. This came from the 2023 or the 1023 document that the Senate subpoenaed from the Justice Department. Now, interestingly, he says that on the same day that the Justice Department became aware of these audio recordings between Hunter and Joe, or sort of involving Hunter and Joe and Burisma, they indicted President Trump, former President Trump. So they're obviously, chasing a bone on one end and just dropping the bone on the other. Now, the Justice Department has had this information for years, though, and Chuck Grassley has proof of that. In the letter today, he details several FBI investigations that were stopped and started around the Bidens, both Hunter and Joe, and Ukrainian company Burisma. And he says that these investigations sort of started, and that his office has been told that when the investigators were trying to do the right thing or just dig, that's their job, right, is just dig, see if there's a crime there, they were thwarted left and right. Look what he writes here. In addition, my office has been informed that the FBI agents and DOJ officials working the Pittsburgh assessment had to pause their work for weeks at a time because the assessment had to be reapproved every 30 days by multiple DOJ and FBI officials. Can you imagine?
Is that normal?
That's not how an investigation works. Like, if you read any, like, for instance, the Trump investigator, Andrew Weissman, or if you read any book by
like Preet Bharara's book?
Yeah, they talk about how your case weakens with the passing of time. With every passing day, your case weakens, right? And so why would it be protocol to continue to get permission to investigate a case? Why would you put a case in sort of this limbo in this way? That should not be standard protocol.
Or you have to keep the bureaucracy. We know there's bureaucracy and red tape, but if there's an investigation, why... to keep calling up every month and like getting a new, re-upping of it.
It's like renewing your driver's license every month. Like that's an inefficiency. Why does that need to be done? Because of it. And so we should get to know, does that happen in Trump investigations? Do they have to get permission every 30 days to see if it fits the political climate? I'm curious, right? Okay, if that's standard protocol, does it happen to the other side? About disinformation, it says when agents again want to dig, there is this foreign influence task force that kind of poisoned the well by calling these things foreign investigations. Look, according to information provided to my office, the foreign influence task force attempted to shut down that report by falsely saying it was subject to foreign disinformation. Should be emphasized that the basis for trying to shut down the Biden family 1023 has been described to my office as highly suspect and is contradicted by other documents my office has been told exist within the Foreign Influence Task Force, FBI Seattle Field Office, Baltimore Field Office, and HQ. So they knew What it looks like here is that several offices knew that this was not foreign disinformation, but they allowed this centralized task force to sort of poison the well, even though they had other information. So, I mean, it does seem very much to me like the agents are trying to do the right thing here, trying to actually dig at their jobs, and they're just stopped and stopped and stopped because of the politics. Now, he concludes that this is a threat to our republic, and he requests 15 extensive categories of information from field office records to case files to media interviews. He says, based on the information provided to my office over a period of years by multiple credible whistleblowers, probably these field investigators who are just trying to do their jobs and told when they find something to put it right back down on the shelf, don't touch that. There appears to be an effort within the Justice Department and FBI to shut down investigative activity related to the Biden family. Such decisions point to significant political bias, to put it lightly, infecting the decision-making of not only the Attorney General and the FBI Director, but also line agents and prosecutors. Our republic cannot survive such a political infection, and you have an obligation to this country to clear the air. So this is not a subpoena. It definitely could turn into a subpoena, but the problem is who enforces it when someone does not comply with a subpoena? The Justice Department, right?
Right.
So is the Justice Department going to comply or enforce that on themselves? I don't know. You know, a lot of this is just screamed down a tunnel. Like no one seems to care all that much, despite all of the audio recordings, the bank records, the WhatsApp messages. It just seems like the media and, people at the highest level don't care that much. So, the next powerful person can come along and sell us all down the river for their own personal gain. I guess those are our national values. Let us know what you think about this.
I wonder if they'd hold the same standard for Trump in this situation.
Well, right. I mean, this is an easy one, right? Are there any investigations that had to be reapproved every 30 days? Why did that happen for the Bidens? That's one.
Right.
Yeah. Did that happen to Trump? I'm curious.
They've got a sunset provision built into them. Like we're starting it, and after 30 days, we let it go, and then we have to re-up it. We have to keep re-upping it. With Trump, they're like in perpetuity.
Yeah.
Right? It just doesn't make any sense to me. I would love to know.
Very curious.
Yeah, I would love to know we hope maybe we get some answers from Congress with Merrick Garland if this information if he gets grilled in front of Congress. They love to grill him.
Right, but to what end?
I mean, get really any answers.
Yeah, it's good for their political careers to put on their Instagram.
Yeah.
They can refer it to the Justice Department, but he is the Justice Department. So, this is a case of you policing you. So it's really discouraging. Let us know if you see anything coming of this in your crystal ball, because I find it so frustrating.
Thank you so much for watching this segment here at Redacted. We are live every day at 4 p.m. Eastern Time, trying to share the stories that the mainstream media will not cover. You should also come over and join our community of Redacted Rebels over at redacted.inc. That's our private locals community where we can share exclusive content that we simply cannot share here on YouTube. Come over and join the rebellion together right now by going to redacted.inc. We'll see you next time.